People are looking for four main characteristics when selecting an employer: inspiration, education, autonomy, and feedback. In our tight labor market, culture and opportunity for growth are often the deciding factors between someone choosing your company to work versus another. Successful business strategies depend upon people. In this episode, Michael Einbinder with Einbinder and Dunn and the Rawls Group succession planner, Jeff Bannon, discusses how to nurture a culture that provides what people want to build the team necessary to fulfill business goals.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the core of that is really just the communication, of where are we going, what are we doing. People who lack clarity on their future generally just not as invested in what they're doing day to day. I think the financial component, to your point, is huge as you start illustrating what the opportunity means financially. But in a tight labor market where we are, and the workforce has options in terms of where they feel like going and what they feel like doing. Really, the intangible types of things end up helping make the decision for them, such as what kind of culture am I going to step into, and do I fit here? Are my values aligned with this organization? As well as what's the opportunity for me from an upward mobility standpoint. I talked to one of my clients and just asked him, I said, how many of your interviewees actually ask about advancement opportunities or upward mobility? And he said, maybe 1 out of 30 might ask the question. I said, well, that's, part of the problem. I said, if you were going to pick who you wanted in your organization to work with you, it would be the person that says, how far can I go? And I think every entrepreneur should be looking for the people in their organization who want to take their chair. If I'm running, a large organization, I'd love to surround myself with people who want to think the way I think, who want to someday be in my chair, and keep them with me through the growth period. That accomplishes quite a lot of things in terms of protecting the company with someone who can run in my absence, to accommodating growth when opportunities come up. And I think a major part of the workforce challenge right now too is the focus generationally on work-life balance. How much flexibility do I have in my hours? One of my clients that has delivery options, is looking for delivery people. Really struggles with losing those candidates to DoorDash or other types of Uber Eats, or people who get to wake up at 10 a.m. and eat a bowl of cereal, watch cartoons, and decide their own work hours. It's just a fact of the matter. It's just a different world than it was than when a lot of entrepreneurs had grown up. But I think that, overall, those types of things would be saying that I am looking for people who are interested in growing the way I have. I am looking to invest in them, to grow them, to get them where they want to be. And the last component to that, to make it all work, has to be naturally just the development of a strategic plan that says, if I am that good at developing people, investing in people, and picking the right people in my organization, I need a place for them to grow to, which puts all the pressure back on the business owner to say, boy, how many more units do I need to accommodate, the growth and development of the people I chose to develop? And so these are all interrelated. And I think that the retention of people and finding the right people comes down to that type of thought process. Let's find the right people who want to think like me. Let's find a way to develop them, and then let's create the opportunity for them to grow in my organization. And then you tie in opportunities, or think through the dynamics of, should we be looking at ownership opportunities for these type of people, or, as I mentioned before, non-qualified deferred comp plans, or there's lots of ways to make sure that you can have multiple solid leaders with entrepreneurial spirits within your organization.
I just want to add this. The idea that the person that you spoke to said only 1 of 30 people ask about what are they going to do next, or how are they going to get to where they want to go, or what's the next step for me, is shocking to me as a business owner, as a partner and a founder of a law firm. And I've had that same experience. There are some people who are just sponges and want to know everything they can possibly know about the business and how to become a partner in it and how to grow. I've got clients telling me about that. I've got colleagues in other firms and accounting firms, other service providers who have the same conversations. And there are so many people who just want to come to work and get a paycheck, and they're not thinking about it, and they never ask how they can advance. Unfortunately, there are some people who just don't feel comfortable asking about that. And I think to a certain extent, you can't just rely on someone asking about in their first interview, what is it going to look like for me in 5 years? You can certainly ask the question. Those people who sit there and say, I don't know, right. You don't want to necessarily bring on. But there's also the opportunity to have someone get used to your business and get used to your culture and feel like they're part of the team early on, where you can say to them, let's have lunch and let's talk about where you want to go. And I think when people get their feet wet a little bit, when they see what the business is like and they sort of understand how it all got started and who the entrepreneur is behind it, they may have a little bit more in terms of questions about what they can do and how they can grow. So I wouldn't discount the people that don't ask the question. I just think everyone should ask the question. I can't help myself for that. That's what my style would be. But I do understand that people don't feel necessarily comfortable doing that until they find out a little bit more. But it's really instructive, though, Jeff, to hear that you've got a person you've spoken to about this specifically who says 1 out of 30. It's, I think we have to pull it out of them to a certain extent.
Yeah. And it's not to say every organization doesn't need a quote unquote warm body to man a position. Every organization does. But I think from the context of speaking to multi-unit, operators and franchisees, it's if our goal is to grow, then it's identifying that and being prepared to answer that question when they say, what is my opportunity here and where are you going as an organization?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Although there are many unknowns about the future, business succession planning positions you to take advantage of opportunities the marketplace creates. By proactively addressing possible, probable, and potential issues, you create many options at your fingertips. Do you have a question you want to discuss with an expert? Feel free to reach out directly to Michael or Jeff at the email addresses listed on the screen. This is only one out of our 5-episode series focused on succeeding despite economic uncertainties. Continue listening to the series now or come back for more. Each topic featured may want you to learn something new. Succeeding Despite Economic Uncertainties is a part of the Rawls Group's Advancing Your Business, People, and Legacy Conversation series.